I know what you're thinking by the title, but let me explain. Football, 100% without a question, sucks. People, control yourself, please. Okay, there are a number of reasons why football sucks. Stop right there, Mr. Addition. Who are you? The second you said football sucks, the people cried out in anger and dislike buttons, and created me to defend football from people like you. I am Mr. Hart. People like me. A fine intellectual like me. An intellectual? Ha! If you were, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Football is a beautiful sport. No, and I have arguments as to why. So have I. But before we begin, A, we should tell everybody to get some free wallpapers from Patreon. And B, let's agree on what sucks. Sounds fair? Chelsea sucks. Real Madrid sucks. FC Barcelona is good. I'm sorry, I couldn't even finish that sentence. They suck. And, Manchester United, the worst of the worst. Why did we ask you to defend football again? Yes, football is a simplistic game. Some might say too simple. Where there are two sides with each 12 players, where each tries to kick the ball into each other's goal. There are a lot of nerds in the audience who are like, well, actually, football is a lot more complicated. But that differs from person to person. But this simplistic game can be considered an art form, like a story crafted by Hemingway. It has heroes and villains, winners and losers, full of tight calls, tension and competition, each team in a tight race for the cup. It's a narrative, it's poetry. It's the greatest art form the world has ever seen. That's your argument? Football is an art form? I'm sorry, that's so sad. True art has depth and meaning. It's insightful and incites insightful conversation. True art can change the world. But with football, I kicked the ball? But it does change the world, and it can. Football is a powerful thing. It unites hundreds of thousands of people, whether you're watching in Asia or Africa. Whether rich or working class, football is doing something, breaking down walls. No, it isn't. In fact, it's the opposite. The obsession with teams is building up walls higher. What team are you? What team do you support? It is building walls for whichever team you support, red or blue. It can really get out of control. How out of control can it get? Like fighting a war? The football war. Seriously, search it up. People died. People got shot. People committed suicide over football, with a bunch of other war crimes. And don't think that this was some small skirmish. 6,000 people were killed because of football and 15,000 injured. And that also spurred on a future civil war. Wow, what a great sport. What was that about uniting the world? Okay, maybe that situation got a little out of hand. A little out of hand? Did you not hear me? People were committing suicide because of football. Okay, but to every dark cloud there is a silver lining, and this silver lining is a big one. In the wake of racism, football has acted as one against racism. Do you know the effect that has on a child surrounded by racism and accepting it without questioning it? And then the heroes act against it. Instead of dividing us, we worked as one against racism. Wow, what a great sport. What was that about dividing the world? It does. And that's no more clear on an individual level. Yeah, I love it on an individual level. A great sport which promotes physical exercise and that everybody can play. No. It does promote physical exercise, which, by the way, has like 1,000 risks involved. But that's a story for another time. But the every child can play in it is a stick that is invalid. Yes, a lot of boys can play and want to. Not all boys. Football has been tied to the idea of masculinity. And a male not enjoying football is known as taboo. and odd. And if you don't see a problem with that, then I'm saying you're part of the problem. So we're just a little over-inclusive. No, you're over-inclusive towards boys. For girls, it's the opposite. Girls are often discouraged from playing. There are movements to try and break this down, but none have made a significant effect. It's even simple things, like the fact that we never referred the Women's World Cup as the World Cup and the Males World Cup as the Males World Cup. A small difference. And there are bigger ones, like the wage gap. The football wage gap is so large, it makes the average one look decent. It is crazy. And don't even get me started on how much footballers are paid. Already footballers are overpaid. That money should go to people like teachers. Yeah, but a benefit of the system that we have is that it attracts those who are actually interested. Does it suck that money goes to footballers instead of teachers? Yeah, but with something as vital as education, I want a teacher interested in the students. That's no excuse. Look, it doesn't look like we're going anywhere with this. Yeah, we're not getting through. I even made a video about that. It's a pointless argument not going anywhere. Football may be a united world force that needs to be celebrated, or a dividing disease that needs to be eradicated. But either way, it's important. And to find out who's right, hit the like button to support him, and hit the dislike if you support me. And to show your support for each side, make sure that you get some cool wallpapers. They look amazing and they're free on Patreon. Click the link in the description. Thanks.